Thank you for joining us for the year-end CUCSA Workgroup presentations. Now we're going to hear from our Sustainable Workforce Workgroup, and they'll share their findings and their recommendations. And I'm happy to introduce to you Greta Carl-Halle, Workgroup Chair.
Thank you. I am Greta Carl-Halle from Santa Barbara. With me are Roberta Camarena from San Diego, Heidi Martinez from Los Angeles, Mahjabeen Yusagul from Office of the President, Shirley Salado from Agriculture and Natural Resources, and Nellie Lopez from Berkeley Lab. Our charge was to continue the discussion which began in the work of the 2022-23 CUCSA Wellness Workgroup of insufficient staffing numbers and burnout, and to consider actionable approaches to address these issues. We were asked to identify sources of quality information on staffing numbers, identify ways to quantify work and burnout, and find ways to effectively illustrate the critical nature of this matter to leadership, provide guidance of critically assessing workload, develop a toolkit for standard messaging around work-life harmony and boundary setting, and to provide best practices of work modality and the future of work. Persistent understaffing continues to impact both employees and the university as a whole. On an individual level, overwork leads to a number of health concerns. Staff find themselves stressed as they juggle the work of more than one position, affecting sleep, time for relaxing and exercising, and interpersonal relationships. Understaffing is also leading to losses and liabilities for the institution. Beyond the financial impact of turnover, simply not having enough people is affecting the work that can be done. Faculty find themselves unsupported in their research endeavors. Students are unable to access campus services. Patient care suffers. Facilities can't be maintained. Safety in labs is jeopardized. Grants fall out of compliance. Mistakes are made, leading to financial loss. In addition, staffing shortages lead to a higher incidence of workplace accidents. Exhaustion, overexertion, and pressures to maintain the workflow push employees beyond safety margins. We must move past the acceptance of understaffing to understanding the risk at which it puts the university. Investing in adequate staffing is a strategic imperative that requires an investment by the institution. This investment is necessary to establish a sustainable workforce. A sustainable workforce is adaptive, highly engaged, and motivated, leading to increased productivity, job satisfaction, and employee retention. Rather than accepting staff turnover, employees should be seen as an important resource to be cultivated and grown to maintain a strong workforce. This graphic I actually found in a research paper on workforce sustainability in the construction business. No matter the field, research agrees that these 8 attributes are keys to developing a sustainable workforce. Although all of them are important, our research focused on 3 of them. Health and well-being, which is the level of health, safety, and contentment employees feel and experience in their work. Maturity, which is the extent to which members of the workforce are competent, responsible toward each other, and share accountability in decision-making and problem-solving. And nurturing, which is the extent to which employees feel supported, educated, and trained in their work. Although we don't specifically discuss diversity and equity, I'll mention that this is an area worth exploring in the future because equal opportunity for all employees is important to create a sustainable workforce.
According to the University of California, the 2016 to 2023 system-wide percentage growth are 9% for faculty, 12% for students, and 15% for staff. According to this data, the growth of staff is greater than the growth of both faculty and student enrollment. However, it's essential to note that this growth does not account for the number of vacant positions. Furthermore, the number of job postings does not accurately distinguish between the number of vacant, permanently funded career staff positions versus the number of temporary staff positions. The equitable hiring process, onboarding, and training of new staff is both time-consuming and cost-prohibitive, and the workload of any vacant position is carried by staff currently working across the University of California. We are left wondering why the perceived number of staff vacancies does not match the number of posted jobs. Is it due to salary savings? Are these funds being reallocated for operational costs, other functions, or to increase salaries for current staff? Or is it a lack of time or staff to form hiring and onboarding teams? Possible reasons could include COVID recovery, job removed from the job board, or actually filling jobs. Unfortunately, we did not receive the information on the number of vacancies system-wide to make a comprehensive assessment. As you will hear from my colleagues today, the staff numbers do not accurately reflect the actual experiences of staff system-wide. The lack of staff is leading to burnout, and it is crucial that we address the issue to ensure the well-being of our staff.
We often think of burnout as an individual problem, solvable with simple fix techniques like learning to say no, more yoga, breathing exercises, practicing resilience. The self-help list goes on. It is important for UC to reframe their work thoughts, practices, and antiquated policies surrounding burnout to establish organizational success and employee well-being. Reframing these practices to emphasize well-being, inclusion, and support fosters overall job satisfaction and organizational success. To effectively combat burnout, some of the systemic issues to address burnout are continuing to promote work-life balance through flexible work arrangements and mandatory breaks and vacations. Modernizing performance evaluations by implementing regular feedback and goal setting and career development can enhance these communications between the employer and manager. Establishing clear career paths and professional development opportunities to help employees achieve their career goals and within the organization. While evaluating and addressing the systemic impacts of workplace burnout, the individual and organizational impacts of burnout in the workplace can lead to psychological and physical health problems. Some examples are weight fluctuation, generalized body pain, physical exhaustion, and chronic joint pain. Additionally, organizations encounter financial implications due to the increase of employee turnover. Job stress is estimated to cost $300 billion per year in health costs, absenteeism, and poor performance. Healthier, happier employees are more engaged, productive, and committed to their work. Lower turnover rates reduce recruitment costs and ensure community and operations. While addressing these impacts, UC can create a healthier and more supportive work environment that helps prevent and mitigate workplace burnout, ultimately leading to higher employee satisfaction, productivity, and retention. UC can achieve both organizational success and employee well-being by implementing flexible work arrangements, modernizing performance management, and streamlining workloads. These changes not only improve the quality of work-life balance for employees, but also drives better outcomes for the organization and its success.
As Heidi mentioned, job burnout is a problem at UC. Solving this problem is important for the health of the organization as well as of employees. The question is how to solve or mitigate burnout. A three-step process involves making observations of behaviors and trends that indicate existence of problem, information gathering to determine root cause or causes, co-building solution, where employee and manager work together to identify next steps to correct the issue. High workload is one of the root causes of burnout. Project management tools such as Trello can help visualize tasks and give insight into workload of employees. Teams can use the information to better distribute tasks such that team members' strengths are leveraged, maximizing team effectiveness and minimizing workload. Another set of tools such as ActiveX and wearable devices can provide data streams, enabling talent analytics that can be used to determine baseline workload, provide justification for staffing needs, and ensure equity of workload. Doing less with less. The question is, what should we do less of? To arrive at the answer, we need business process maturity. The clear understanding and communication of business processes. Process maturity level refers to level of governance, ownership, documentation, discoverability, repeatability of process, and performance matrices. This lays the foundation for continuous improvement. Continuous improvement starts with identification of stakeholders, bringing stakeholders together to outline current processes, pain points, priorities. The teams can then begin developing solutions for doing less with less. There are design solutions, workflow, and team changes. Non-design solution, use of technologies and tools for process improvement. And last but not the least, develop talent. We learned about UCI Evolve project, a talent enhancement program that allows for intentional investment in growing skill of existing employees and preparing them for their future roles. Although most locations have learning resources and mentoring programs, there is a need for an integrated solution for career path discovery and directed learning to support employees in their journeys. We can possibly augment existing tools such as Career Track or bring in new tools to empower employees in steering their own career progression.
UC is facing challenges and recruitment, retention, and burnout among staff, all of which decrease morale, productivity, revenue, and reputation. The need for harmony at work and in life is essential for many reasons that directly affect work and one's health. When a balance is reached, the positive effects impacting work performance include higher engagement, reduced absenteeism, closer working teams, stronger office morale, fewer burnouts, reduced employee turnover, and happier employee satisfaction. The process of fostering such an environment requires the integration of one's work life and personal life and liberating oneself from unhealthy work patterns to achieve a sustainable balance called work-life harmony in the workplace. A strategic introduction to a work-life harmony culture for employees will require a symbiotic relationship between health and work performance with clear communication and specific managerial training in order to establish boundaries that prioritize self-care and support flexible work arrangements. Structured strategies to be found in an accessible toolkit for leaders and managers would include assessing the current situation by utilizing the wheel of life to identify areas needing attention. SMART goals to balance improvement in unbalanced areas in life. Utilizing helpful time and energy tools to assist in work-life harmony. Establish healthy boundaries by communicating needs and preferences. seek support and accountability from various people and sources. And never forget to adjust the work-life plan to ensure progress and satisfaction are in place for a rewarding plan achieving work-life harmony.
As mentioned earlier, flexible work is a tool that can help support a sustainable workforce. Since the end of the pandemic, locations have been recalling staff to more on-site work, and this has been creating challenges for these employees. To understand how locations are implementing flexible work, we reviewed each location's flexible work program. What we learned is that generally, locations have developed thoughtful, flexible work programs with plenty of resources and tools. Some locations stood out with some really great practices that I'd like to highlight. At UC Irvine, staff can request a reconsideration process for flexible work decisions. At UC Merced, flexible work modality is easily viewable on their job opening website. At UC Santa Cruz, work modality is included in position descriptions, and San Diego and Berkeley Lab have actual flexible work policies. It's clear that locations have gone to great effort to create effective and equitable flexible work programs. So how do we reconcile the concerns we have been hearing from employees, especially concerns about equity? From the literature on flexible work, one of the conclusions is that UC, like most employers, is still on a learning curve with flexible work. Managers are still dealing with biases against flexible work. Change for managers will take time and practice. Flexible work is not a one-size-fits-all. Managers will need to evaluate flexible work on a case-by-case basis. Therefore, a key factor to successful flexible work programs will be supporting and training managers even more than we are doing now to better adapt them to managing in a flexible work environment. High job satisfaction is key to a sustainable workforce. The university can achieve this if we implement policies and procedures that address work-life harmony and employee well-being that allow staff to thrive in both their working and personal lives. This leads to higher productivity, higher creativity, and higher innovation. A sustainable workforce cannot be achieved if staff are overworked, undervalued, and given little to no flexibility. In light of this, our work group recommends the following: meaningful strategies for growing staff on par with location growth, whether that be faculty, students, research, or processes. Creation of a system-wide task force on high-level analysis of policies and procedures impacting administrative burden on staff and to help operationalize the less with less strategy. Utilization of technology for workload management and talent analytics. Upskilling of employees to provide them future career paths at the university. Training and support for managers that includes implementation of a toolkit to identify and mitigate burnout, implementation of a work-life harmony toolkit, ongoing supervisor training on change management and managing in a hybrid work environment, and the addition of work modality to job descriptions and job postings. We're happy to further discuss our research at the Town Hall on Tuesday, July 9th at 11 a.m. on Zoom. Click the link below in the comments to register for that Town Hall. You can also find a link to our full report, and any other information can be found on our website at CUCSA.ucla.edu.